What's up, everybody? It's your favorite webhead's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Spider-Man Homecoming Deluxe version from Hot Toys. This was given to me as a gift for Father's Day, so that's pretty sweet. The kids had actually been winding me up all day. My wife told them to tell them that they had made me something for Father's Day, because, you know, like, I mean, it's always a sweet thing, but, you know, sometimes, like, you can only get so many macaroni necklaces where you're like, all right, that'll do. But anyway, so I was very pleasantly surprised when this came out of the bag, and my wife paid through the nose for it, I think. But anyway, let's talk about it. We'll start with accessories. It comes with the display base. It's very nice. We got the kind of plaque on there, probably a protective covering on there that I'll take off at some point, and then the nice little effect there with the Spider-Man, all that looks good. And then we have the rod, so to speak, and that screws in, which is nice. And then you have the clamp, which you can slide on as long, let me put it the other way. As long as you have this cap off, and then you put the cap on, and that secures it, and then you open and close here, hold the figure, good to go. It should also be noted that the stand itself is posable. You get a number of hands. You get left and right kind of wall crawling hands, left and right relaxed hands, left and right web shooting hands, left and right web holding hands, plus the 2 fist hands that he came with in the opening footage. You get his 2 kind of spider wings, or web wings rather, and they're pretty awesome. So they're a translucent plastic, and then they're sculpted with the web work, and the web work is painted black. The translucent itself is airbrushed along the edges for shading, and then there's magnets along here which clip into the side of Spider-Man so that he can do that. He comes with 2 extra heads, a Peter Parker head, and then a Vulture helmet, which isn't really a head, but you get the idea. We'll take a look at the Parker head in greater detail in a bit. This is done really well. You got weathering, the silver weathering on throughout. You have the green paint added, and then the panel work is all done in there. And then the silver paint, which looks like it has a subtle wash. We have the lens here. It's stationary, but it's pretty cool. And then all the straps are all sculpted, all the little tidbits. It looks really, really good. A nice display piece. He comes with a spider mask so that he can kind of hold it while he has his mask off, and you can kind of, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone in that situation, which is a very thoughtful accessory. I dig that an awful lot because that's probably how I have mine displayed. Then he comes with 4 sets of different eyes for his mask. They're all magnet swap out, so you got like the wide-eyed, more serious, not trusting you, and then the special vision or whatever. All nicely done, all nice options to have. And then he comes with some extra accessories. He has the Science Today book, and it actually does have text like throughout, which is crazy. So that's pretty sweet, well detailed throughout. And then the headphones, which look good. They're kind of like standard. There's nothing special. It's not like the padding is any different, but they look nice. But you can't really use them on the regular Parker head. Like, they don't really fit quite right. You have to kind of use them on the Spider-Man head or have it around the neck. And then you have some web accessories. You have 2 swap out like bracelets where the webbing kind of holds from. You have 2 long kind of webbing stems. Let me back the camera out a bit. And then 2 short like webbing shots. And then 1 like hook holding one. So just to give you an idea, you can have this too, which is like the webbing coming out, right? So you can insert, let's see, one of these. Yeah. You can insert this in there, and then you can take this and insert this into the shooter so that it all connects, which is pretty sweet. So you have the 2 straight options, you have the 2 kind of like blob options, and then you have the holding hook one. All work really well. I'm not sure why they included 2 extra ones when I feel like they could have probably just used the 2 ones he has on, but whatever. And then he comes with some extra soft goods. He comes with his like lab coat, which is, you know, it's fine if you want to put this on him. Like, I think a lot of this stuff comes with the deluxe version. I didn't need the deluxe version personally, but the sweatshirt, which does look cool if you want to have that look. I'll try to show it off at some point during the video. And then the working zipper. And then the backpack, which is pretty sweet. I probably will try to include this somehow. And do these zippers work? They do. But there's nothing inside of them, I don't think. Let's double check. Nope, just cotton. Cotton to give it some depth. Put a little soda bottle down in there, wood. So looking at it next to the kind of real, film version, it looks pretty good. I will say the shape seems to be slightly off, like the shape of the head, and also like that I can't get over this stitching that runs down the middle of the mask. Like it does throw it off for me a bit. But like the details and shape of the eyes and stuff, and remember he has those swap out eyes to make them larger like this one you see here in the picture. And like the more kind of subtlety of the line work in the mask, like all that stuff really works for me, including the texture. The texture of the fabric seems to be on point as well. Now the face sculpt here though, I feel like they absolutely nailed it. Probably one of my top 5 face sculpts or head sculpts rather, from Hot Toys that I've seen. They're just getting better and better and better. The shape and style of the hair, the shape of the face, the relationship between eyes to nose to mouth proportionately, shape of the head, eyebrows, the ears, like it's all on point. A really, really, really magnificent job. Fantastic. Now, let's talk soft goods, detailings, and all that sort of thing. So, the hair is painted beautifully. There's a subtle shading from light brown to dark brown, and the lighter brown is on top. It's almost like a highlight paint as opposed to a shadowing paint, which gives it a very realistic look and a little bit of sheen to it, which is nice. The shading around the eyes, I can't say enough good things about this face sculpt. The shading, the subtle texturing in the skin tones, it is just on the money. Subtlety in the lips, the eyes, the creases under the eyes, like the eye folds, it's all on the money. So for the suit itself, it's pretty much, this is a different texture than this. They're sewn in together, and then the same from the pants down to the boots, and then the inside of the arm to this. And then the black is like a faux leather, like a pleather type, and then this is plastic, the hands are plastic, the head is plastic, and the bottom of the feet are plastic. So also this emblem here is plastic and looks spot on. So it's subtle line work in the red suit. It all moves around the figure well. It fits the figure really well. A lot of times when they do these one suit things like that, like the way that a Daredevil kind of ended up looking, it ends up looking a little strange. Like the pelvis ends up looking far too long. There's a little bit of that going on here, but it's much better, much more kind of appropriate. They really knocked it out of the park, I feel like, with this one. The stitching is a little large down the inside of the legs and on the inside of the arms. I'm guessing that has something to do with the fabric choice that they used. It's ultimately worth it for me, and I'll show you why when we get to articulation, but it does look a little disproportionate. Like it doesn't look like it should be that big, so to speak. But otherwise, yeah, there's not much to talk about. I mean, all the line work that's done on the suit is accurate, and it's clean and sharp. So I don't have any issues there. All of the stitching and kind of the way that I guess this might be glued. I don't know how they did it. Of the black faux leather onto the suit is seamless, really sharp. My only really criticism is the stitching on the inside of the legs and on the inside of the flank here. Everything else is pretty much flawless. Let's talk articulation, because that's where this guy really shines, and it's what makes me forgive any issue with the suit. So the head is on a double ball peg from the head into the neck, and then the neck is on a single one from the neck into the chest. Using both, you can get the head down to there, up to there, side to side, having a little, what you talking about? You know what I mean? You can do anything you want, no problem. You have a double ball peg from the chest and upper abdomen into the lower abdomen, and then a single from the lower abdomen into the pelvis. But the single is a very large peg, so it gives you a lot of bend. And using both, even with the soft goods, you can get them all the way over to there and all the way back to there. Side to side and a swivel. Flawless. Ratcheted shoulders. That's nice to see. You can get the arm all the way up to there. It's a disc hinge, ratcheted disc hinge into a ball peg, so you can get the arms fairly far across the body and back. And you can get, with the soft goods even, you can get the arm out to 90 degrees, so that's nice as well. There's a bicep swivel below the shoulder and a double jointed elbow that allows you to get almost the full range. You have ball hinge wrists, up, down, and then you can swivel them so that you can get the in out as well. If I can do it, there you go, and then in out. The sculpt of the hands, I didn't talk about those, but they're all done beautifully. The webbing is all sculpted in, everything is painted sharp. All right, what else do we have? We have the hips, ratcheted universals. So that's nice. We usually get ball pegs. So, you know, not the greatest range for a Spider-Man, but a pretty impressive range for a Hot Toys. All the way out to there, front and back to there. You do get a little kind of weird shape going on when you get it to an extreme range, but for the most part, it's gonna pose just fine. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, ankle tilt, up, down on a double ball peg, it feels like, and an ankle rocker. So really a phenomenally posing piece. Like, you're gonna be able to get a lot out of this guy that you can't normally get with Hot Toys. They figured out a way, you know, to kind of lend it to the character. So like, I am on board. Final thoughts wise for my negatives, you know, the stitching is a little disproportionate. The book might be a little big too, like when I'm sitting here looking at it. I wish the headphones would have sat on his ears a little bit better on the face swap out. And I'm not sure that the extra soft goods are really worth it. That's definitely a subjective thing. If you're into like having the lab coat and the hoodie underneath and all that, then it's worth it to you. And the backpack is nice, but even now, like if you look at his strap, like it doesn't look like it has weights in it. You know, I'd have to like take out that cotton and like fill it with sand or something to like really look like it's pulling down on the shoulder straps. That weightlessness is a problem that I run into with soft goods and Hot Toys, and I don't really run into it on this figure except for the extra stuff. So I'm not sure if the deluxe version is ultimately worth it, and there's some small stitching nitpicks that I have. But plenty of positives. It's probably the most functionally articulated figure I've seen from Hot Toys since I've started getting into them. The face sculpt is absolutely 100% amazing. The soft goods are seamless. Tons of accessories with hands, web options. They gave you a stand to allow for a little bit more posability. Everything is clean and sharp on it, so it's a strong recommend from me. I would just ask yourself if you needed the deluxe accessories, and if not, go standard version. I think you'll be just as happy. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.